And hello, everyone. A great segue into our latest live stream. Welcome, everybody. The Fable Card Sharks car theme, which, for those uninitiated in the game show world, was the theme for the match game Hollywood Squares Hour, the ill-fated revival marriage of two great TV games. Only lasted for about 7 months, I think. Lasted from October 31st, 83 to July of 84. And was replaced by, hold the phone, was replaced by Santa Barbara. I'll explain more about this album later if need be. Yes, but it was also used on Card Sharks as in the car game. That's right. Thank you, CC Kirby. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It's a lovely Friday here in Atlanta, nice and warm, and it's getting very, very summer-like around here. Hello, Michael. Nice to see you. So, how's everybody? Greg will join us in just a moment. He's going on his lunch break from work now. So, just to say there is a purpose for coming on today. We've started a fundraiser on our Facebook page. If you go over to our Facebook page, search for Nick and Greg, we started a fundraiser for Southern Fried Queer Pride. We actually have two great pride organizations here in Atlanta. We have Atlanta Pride, the Atlanta Pride Committee. There's also Southern Fried Queer Pride, which is a great, more kind of grassroots movement to support artists, support people of color, to support just about anything under the sun you can think of. And they're a great organization. They have Pride during Pride Month. And obviously they had to cancel that this year, the actual in-person stuff, because of COVID-19. But they're hosting a virtual Pride event at the end of the month. You can get the details on their Facebook page. And Greg is here.
Hi.
A man of few words, as always. Andy's here. Hello, Andy. Oh, by the way, another plug. Speaking of Andy, Cameron, Andy's partner, has a Etsy shop called Bubble and Bathe, and we bought one of their soy wax candles. It finally got here after a long delay in the mail, but that's not their fault. Just COVID-19 and the way the mail is, getting stuff from one country to another. But this is a lovely scent called Japanese Garden. We've enjoyed it very much. I haven't used it in a few days, though. I've still got plenty left on the candle. It'll last a long time. It's rather nice. Go check their shop out. Search for Bubble and Bathe, B-A-T-H-E, over on Etsy, and you'll find it. You can find them on Instagram and Facebook as well. So, there you are. So, what's new, everyone? I feel for Match Game Hollywood Squares, a lot of it is because it astonished me that Mark Goodson did such a fascinating job of not getting it with the bluffs on the square side. The thing about the show Hollywood Squares is that it had a certain magic to it. And I don't want to go into a game showy explanation. Let's just say that it was a different interpretation of Hollywood Squares. Michael is observing that that's a lock around your neck. Mm-hmm. Yes. I defer to you if you want to talk about it at all.
I don't know. I just like it.
Yes, but again, if Greg wants to talk about it, he will. Anyway. Yes. Thank you, Andy. Thank you very much. We do enjoy it. I need to buy one of those bath bombs. I just saw the post that Cameron did a few minutes ago with the strawberry bath bomb or bath thingamaboo or whatever. And strawberry is one of my favorite flavors of ice cream. You don't like it that much, but I think the tripod's in the way of Craig seeing the chat on the screen. Michael, don't apologize. I told you to stop apologizing. Me and Michael chat a lot offline. He's become a very good confidant and friend. I mean, I'll chat with him while I'm at work, and he keeps me just from going crazy at work. Because work can get pretty crazy sometimes. So it's been a tough couple of weeks, for on top of, that's a lovely sound, the sound of a can being opened. It's been a tough couple of weeks because here in Atlanta, as in most cities, not only in America but around the world, it's been a difficult time for people of color dealing with what happened with George Floyd in Minneapolis and all the protests. And Atlanta was a very big flashpoint for some of the protests. And we had the incident here of the two college students getting tased in their car and pulled out of their car and arrested. And now 4 officers have been fired over it.
Which you had to sit and watch happen live at your job.
It happened live on one of the stations in my hub that I work in, and I had it on a monitor in front of me as it was happening on live television, and you could hear the director in the control room, the other control room, and there were at least 2 or 3 of us in the hub that physically we jumped in our seats in horror at what we were seeing. It just angers me so much when human beings get treated in such a way that they do. I can't. It's just no words. You know what I'm feeling. I don't need to explain it. Yeah. Well, have they been charged? Greg, I'll defer to you on that.
Yeah, they're charged with, what is it? I forget what they were charged with.
But they've been charged.
Yeah, and they're fighting it, of course.
Oh, of course, because, Yes, and C.C. Curry says it's one of the harder aspects of the job and mentally is having to broadcast things like that. Yes, we've seen a lot of stuff in our career over the last 10 years. Those of you who may remember, it was about 4 years ago that we had the Gatlinburg Fires. And we had to sit and watch that on live television as well. We were passing on important information to people that needed it. And I will never forget that Monday night ever in my life. That was horrible. 13 people died in all those fires. And we still don't conclusively know how they started. I mean, I don't think it was ever determined. Supposedly, they were pointing at 2 teenagers were illegally having a campfire at a campsite in the Smoky Mountains, and the wind was... It was too windy, and you shouldn't have a fire when there's wind because it could spread the fire. Oh, my beard looks nice. Thank you very much. I try to keep it nice and trimmed, and try to keep the neck beard under control as well, Oh, he doesn't do that usually. He only does it on live stuff, because he knows he's cute and he can get away with it. Which he is, so I don't mind. Yes, and that is also true. And if you'll look above Greg's head back here, you can probably see it. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, we posted a picture of this on social media that we'll definitely never forget that day either. I cried a lot that day. It was just so horrible and anguish and whatever, and it's a day that should never be forgotten, that 49 people who were just being themselves in a safe space had their lives just taken away. You know, it's unbelievable. But anyway, we're here to be positive. We're here to just chat and have a good time. I'm thinking about what to do with Nick's Flicks Live. I mean, it was a great, interesting learning experience for me to try to do that sort of thing. I'm thinking about where do I go with it from there. It's one thing that I've been thinking about to talk about in this live chat, was to get your feedback about it. Michael called his mom sobbing because his husband Ben was in Pittsburgh at the time. Oh, message retracted. Okay, well, I read it out. Making homemade pizzas. Well, Greg, you want to talk about that?
What about homemade pizzas?
So do you guys like making your own homemade pizzas?
We haven't done it in a while, but yeah.
Yeah, you used to do that all the time.
Last time I was at the grocery store, all the pizza supplies were sold out. So,
of all things, I mean, it's. I'll let you speak more to it. Scoot over here just a little bit, Greg, getting a shot. It's been frustrating for you at the grocery store lately.
Yeah, I'm just dealing with the people who get way too close to you and all the things that they're sold out of.
Don't look up here. Look at the camera.
Trying to look at the comments. And
Oh, that's the. No. It's fine, Michael. It's fine. Greg's Kitchen on homemade pizza.
Yeah, I can do that sometime if I can ever find the ingredients.
Yes. Oddly enough, we've already put in our dinner order for later at 8 o'clock, which will be off our live stream by then. Of course, it's drag race night, as always. And tonight's the second episode of All Stars 5. And we have some pizza coming for that to be delivered at 8 p.m. precisely. So there you go. Sometimes we like going out for pizza, but we love you make great pizza, and we will do that video soon, provided we can find the elements, as you said. You know, when there's some other recipes we still got to showcase as well. Mm-hmm. You know, we're always looking for new ideas, mainly Instant Pot ideas. You have a great chicken and rice dish that you make in the Instant Pot.
Yeah, that's just to throw the stuff in the pot and turn it on.
Yeah, that's not much. That's not much of a video. You know, throw the stuff in the pot and turn it on. I mean, the miracle of the Instant Pot is precisely that. You know, you just throw the stuff in the pot and turn it on. You know, a lot of restaurants are starting to open for people to sit in now. I'm not happy with it. Well, we will admit that there are one or two places that we like that we have been to since they started opening up. You know,
they've been very careful. The wait staff's been wearing masks and they're seating people really far apart. So
yeah, we cannot pass up a chance to go to the Vortex, and you've seen it on the vlog before. You know, I had the Pickle Rick burger again just last weekend. You know, because you got to have that Szechuan sauce. You got to have that Moulin McNugget sauce, Morty. That Moulin McNugget sauce, 9 seasons, Morty. That's my favorite episode of Rick and Morty, the Rick Shank Redemption. What's your favorite dish that Greg makes? Oh, and CC Kirby would love to see a Greg's Kitchen on breakfast. You don't make breakfast that often.
No. I can make breakfast, but
there's not really a lot of revolutionary ideas around breakfast.
I can make some very simple omelets and pancakes and French toast, and that's about it.
Any revolutionary ideas in the world of omelets you could contribute?
No, all I ever use is ham and cheese.
He's quite a ham and cheese. No, wait, I'm the ham. I resemble the ham.
You never said what your favorite dish that I make is.
I was thinking about it. because it's not in. Yeah, always support local businesses. Oh, the other restaurant we have been to, there's a great Mexican restaurant just up the road from our apartment complex.
Yes, walking distance.
In walking distance, and yes, definitely support local restaurants. Those are the ones. I mean, we will admit to having fast food occasionally, but that's because you got to have something quick,
If we have time to sit down and eat a meal, then I like doing it local.
Definitely. There's a lot of great local pizza chains. Savage Pizza is one of my favorites around here. Fellini's Pizza is another favorite of ours around here. That's local as well.
Yeah.
And there's a great burger place in Tucker that we've been to a few times, and we have ordered from during the pandemic. So don't think we don't support local business. We definitely do. Whenever we can, we do. I love making weird experiment omelets, kitchen sink style. Put whatever in there, and I will eat it. Well, that's not a bad idea. I mean, sometimes you have just leftover ingredients sitting around, and you say, "Oh, I've got to use it or lose it." So, there you go. That's. Sometimes that's what you got to do, By the way, I'm wearing my nice Stonewall shirt I bought last summer. I when it came down to it, I found I didn't own a pink shirt, so I ordered a pink shirt. I got another great shirt coming soon from a great local startup called Atlanta is for Dreamers, and they were running a special last weekend, in which a fourth of their proceeds went to Black Lives Matter organizations here in Atlanta. So the money stays local. It's staying local anyway, because it's a local graphic designer doing it. So I ordered me up a t-shirt, and that'll be here soon. And you'll see me wearing that one at some point. It's not going to ship till later this month. That's fine, What's my favorite dish? Let's go back to that. Oh, that is so difficult to answer. You make so many great things. Is lasagna, and which you haven't made in a while. Hint, 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 hint. I mean, his lasagna is great. His baked spaghetti, which you haven't made in a while either, is great. You haven't done the video on the baked spaghetti. That's another one. There's one we can do.
Mm.
Baked spaghetti. It is a ooh. Oh, you do not know how good baked spaghetti is when he makes it. It is quite a delish.
It's kind of it's more of a, I guess, a casserole, but
well, you call it baked spaghetti.
Yeah, it's a baked spaghetti casserole.
I mean, and it's not like he invented the recipe. It's a recipe you discovered.
Yeah.
And it's kind of morphed it into what you like, or did you just use it?
I mean, no. I mean, all I did was, I left out some of the spices, but that's all I did.
Ah, yes. So that's how Greg always modifies it, because you can't handle a lot of spicy food.
No, and it tears my stomach up. So.
And I can handle a little bit of spicy food, but if it gets really spicy, then I have trouble with it. If I have trouble with it, you definitely will. I still have a lot of sriracha sauce sitting around, don't I?
I think so, unless it expired.
Did you throw it away?
I don't remember.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I was just thinking the other day about how I think I still have some sriracha sauce, but I probably should avoid it anyway. One thing I miss and I haven't had in a while is, I don't want to say Chinese food, because the version of Chinese food you get at certain places is more an Americanized version of Chinese food. Oh, you like spicy food then? Okay, I see. But I'll tell you what, the next Greg's Kitchen we will do will be the baked spaghetti recipe. Okay, that's the next one we will do. We'll have that sometime in the future. We might record that one here in the next week or two. You know, got to make sure we get the ingredients first, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Which we have to talk off camera about when you're going grocery shopping, because of your flipped extra work day coming up.
I only have one day off this week, so I guess that's the day I'm going.
But you're gonna still be flipping your schedule back. He has to cover an overnight shift on Sunday night.
Yeah.
You know, just one time only. So, you know,
somebody's on vacation and I have to cover. So.
Yes, but at least he's working from home. You know, so he doesn't have to drive to and from work. You know, which is brutal when you're working on an overnight shift and you're not used to the hours. Anywho. Oh, I'm going to relax here for a moment. My life, our life, our rules, you know. So, you'll eat everyone's spicy food for you? Okay. Who says you have to be formal the whole time, you know? I mean, this is our couch. It's a comfortable couch. We're going to relax, you know. So, oh, goodness. Oh, he'll be fine. He'll make it through the overnight shift, you know.
It's just one, and
That's a one-off, you know.
and it's only going to be a few hours later than I normally stay up anyway.
Yeah, because we're used to going to bed at like 3 in the morning, and you just have to work till 7, you know, and then take a nap and get back up, you know. So it won't be that bad. Now, when I first started at my old job, this was almost 10 years ago. There were some nights I had to work I forget what hours I had to work, but it was a flip-flop between evening and morning, and I was only part-time at the time, and it was just, I was a lot younger then, so I could handle it a whole lot better 10 years ago. I was like 29, 30 years old, so I could not handle it now. When I had to work those 5 months in late 2018, early 2019, as you well know, I was just, it was murder. I could not handle working 11 to 7 and then to try and enjoy your 2 days off and then have to flip my sleep schedule back around and blah, blah, blah. And, thank God that was well and truly in the past. And then I'm on consistent back doing 3 to 11, you know. So I like working the evenings. At least I can sleep like a normal person and not be a vampire, you know. So So Kirby, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you now? You know, I mean, I'm just curious to see how old you are now compared to then, you know. While I check on the status of something here. Oh, Michael donated $20 to our fundraiser. Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much. Oh, you're 30 now. Okay. Michael, it says to CC that realized recently he's 32 now, definitely can't stay up till 3 a.m. like when I was 20. Oh. Well, most of that is that you're used to working 9 to 5 hours. So if you're used to working 9 to 5 hours, definitely you're not going to be able to stay up to 3 a.m.
Yeah, I mean, we don't get off work till 11. So
yeah, so it's kind of hard to just wind down immediately, you know. So because you want to get caught up on things and watch whatever shows you want to watch, and that takes a little bit of time. We keep swearing up and down that we're going to change and go to bed at like 1, but it ends up never happening, you know.
It's not sleepy at that time.
No, definitely not. Definitely, assuredly not, you know. I mean, it's been, and on top of that, with the anxiety of what's been happening in the world as of late, you know, it's it's been tough for me to get to bed, and I've been trying. I use CPAP therapy. You know, I have for over 3 years now, and for certain reasons, I've been trying to use a new CPAP machine that I've been prescribed by a doctor, and I just cannot get used to the sounds of this new machine because I'm used to the sounds of the old machine. And my brain is so weird. My brain is programmed so weird, you know. Once my brain latches onto a noise, it will not. Oh. Stop pulling at your shirt. Oh, it's one of those things where I do this a lot. Is that I hate it when my shirt gets lodged under my boobs, my moobs, and it's like if you've ever watched Star Trek: The Next Generation, you'll see in the later seasons Picard tugging at his uniform, and the people on the stage at the time refer to it as the Picard Maneuver, which the Picard Maneuver was a thing in an episode back in the first season of the show. It's my kind of Picard Maneuver. Always struggle with sleep problems. It probably doesn't help me. Yeah, I know. But my problem stemmed from way back in college. Is that I was sleeping sitting up, and it's not good for you. It's sleep apnea 100%, and it led to I have lymphedema in my legs, and they're swollen and awful most of the time, and I'm very, very self-conscious about wearing shorts anymore in public. I mean, I'll wear them around the apartment, you know, but I'm very, very self-conscious, and it's tough. It really is. It's tough. It's emotional for me. Yeah, I'm not the healthiest person in the world, I will admit, and I've got to do better with myself. I really do. Eating pizza probably doesn't help, but well, let's put it this way: it could be a lot worse for someone who's 40 years old. There are worse. No, Michael, it's okay. I mean, I'm not insulted at all. You know. I mean, if someone is truly curious and doesn't know about it, I don't mind it being pointed out as long as it's. Oh, hello, Saul. You didn't really miss anything vital. Just that, and you probably seen it already. We're running a fundraiser over on our Facebook page. You can go find it for Southern Fried Queer Pride. Great organization. Greg, there's a question for you here.
If I can see it.
Yeah. He's having a look around the tripod at the monitor.
Oh.
Yeah. Hopefully everyone can see it in the chat over here to know what he's answering.
Well, it's kind of a complicated story. I'll get into it at some point, probably.
When is some point?
I don't know. I don't really feel like it right now.
Okay. Awkward silence. Well, it's okay. I will say that there were times when my leg in college was swollen up so much that it was leading to infections, especially on the back of my left leg. And I went I had to go to a urgent care clinic a few times to be treated, and Greg had the brave trooper that he is, and this is true love right here. Is that you had to scrub at it, and it hurt so much that I had to bury my face in a pillow because I was screaming in pain so much. I don't think you even realize how much it hurt.
I'm sure it did.
But I don't want to go into details on how bad it looked because you don't want me to. You really don't. But eventually we got the swelling under control, and then we got my sleep apnea under control as well. So I'm still battling with these machines, you know. Oh, what is sciatica, Greg?
I can't remember.
Rich comes in. He sachets right in and says, "Plot twist, Greg is Agent 47. Who is Agent 47?
Remember Hitman, the video games and movies?
No, I don't. Greg throwing coins to distract someone. Probably me, you know, because I'm a dum-dum when it comes to video games. No, I have a good friend that I've mentioned before here, Game Master Herb. He has been streaming for a ridiculous number of days in a row over on Twitch on the channel Three Bears Gaming, GAYMING. He's hosting a watch party tonight, again for a local queen, Bitch Puddin', is doing another digital drag show tonight. We watched it last Friday night, and it was pretty awesome. That'll be tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern if you're interested.
Which season of Dragula did Bitch Puddin' win?
The most recent one, third season. Sciatica is an affliction where your sciatic nerve hurts and the pain travels down your back all the way down one of your... Oh my God. Ooh! That sounds awful. I'm just not very knowledgeable about video games beyond Mario Brothers, the old games, you know. And some other stuff back in the 8-bit era. I never did play a lot of video games. I mean, you played a few more than I did. Or did you? Or you just know more?
I mean, when I was a kid, we had an Atari 2600, so...
You also had a Commodore 128, right?
That's a computer, not a video game.
Well, you can play video games on it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
But I didn't get that until the mid-90s. It was a garage sale buy.
He's selling himself short again. Take the compliment. Explain it. Imagine when walking around as you're exhausted, you go to sit. Instead of relief, you hurt even more. Ooh. I have pain in weird ways, you know. I have pain in weird ass ways. I can relate to that sort of thing, you know. Maybe not that specifically, but there are. If I've worn myself out, I will sit down and I will feel myself hurting in my neck and other areas, and it's not pleasant at all, you know. And it'll go away after a few seconds, but not all the time. Sometimes, just sometimes. But that actually doesn't happen that often. Stress has a factor in it, you know. Yeah, we do have a Wii U. We haven't played it in a while. Actually, we bought it from Herb. He cracked it for us and put a lot of games on it for us. So, we're admitting that on a live chat.
I don't think anybody at Nintendo is watching.
Probably not. No, not at all. Easy player a computer game, not a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will concede that. Camelback, no arch support in my feet. Loving junk food is definitely not helping me out. Yeah, junk food is a vice of everybody's. I will freely admit that. Oh. Let's not have a junk food discussion. We are just not going to think about that. Not at all. I mean, I think I'm proud to say there is no junk food in the kitchen right now. There hasn't been for a while. I mean, but the bad thing is that there's junk food available at work, and sometimes I cave in. You know, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. You know, it's a matter of convenience. Let's put it that way. I do try to be conscious and about how much caffeine I consume, which I've consumed a lot of caffeine today in various forms. You know, I had to take some migraine formula today. I had a little bit of stress going on. It's better now. I'm feeling better now. But I was having stress in the back of my head. Part of it is related to the camera, which it's working now, but had a little bit of trouble in the setup today, you know. The path to doing a live stream, and this would be true for anyone, was we always check our equipment beforehand. Don't wait till the last second. Just a few minutes beforehand. Just hook up everything and check it and make sure it's working, you know, because you don't want to drama at the last second when you do one of these live streams. Let's see here. Stay away from junk food. But that Whataburger, though. Whataburger was good. Go back and watch that video if you haven't, you know. I mean, was it worth going all the way to Birmingham for?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was that and just getting out of town for a day.
Yeah, we needed that day trip more than anything. So you're both familiar with Mario games. I recommend New Super Mario Brothers U. We've played it, you know.
Yeah.
It's exactly like Retro Mario to get to the flagpole style games. We've played both New Super Mario Brothers Wii and New Super Mario Brothers U, and I never really got a chance to finish New Luigi U, you know, which we have that available to us as well. But we also like playing Mario. What was that Mario 3D game that we played?
Super Mario 3D Land.
Yeah, or the one where you could turn into a cat. You know. And I'm like, how cute can they make the game? You know, it just melts your heart. It's so cute and fluffy. You know. I did like that, and there's also the other one. The what's that other one?
What other one?
Or am I thinking of a different one with the yarn and whatever?
Oh, Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yoshi's Woolly World. Yeah, that's the one. That one was very cute. Vlog idea then. Let's see some of you and Gray playing co-op Mario. That's an idea we did have before.
Every time we try, we end up arguing.
Well, we've got to work past that, you know. All couples argue, but we argue for the stupidest reasons. In our own ways, you know. And I will admit that usually I'm the one getting mad unnecessarily at things.
But I mean, in playing the game, like one of us will get too far ahead of the other and knock the other off this edge of a cliff, and you know.
Well, you won't stop jumping on me. Like, get off me, you know. I've never played the Kirby games, you know. I've known they're there, you know. I've never played Zelda either. I've known it's there. It's just I guess I don't know how to explain my way out of this, you know. I just have never played it, you know. It's like one of those games where you think you would play it, but I just never got around to playing it, you know. Oh, really? They were encouraging people to get into goofy arguments with their friends? Oh, really? I don't know if that's actually true. Really? Well, I like the character of Kirby. The fact that he can eat anything, can't he? Can he? There's got to be limitations. I mean, maybe I'm not versed in it at all. I know he just is that he sucks things in, does he not? I mean, at least that's what the cartoon drawings of it indicate to me. Progressively closer to each other. Come here, you. See there. I don't know. We're just now. You can read the chat better, can't you?
Well, now it's sideways.
Sideways. Oh my goodness. Speaking of sideways, you just cuddle with me, you know. Ocarina? Never heard of that one. Otis Drew. The Wii era of Nintendo was where Nintendo began with their current marketing plan, making games for people to get together and play chaotically. Well, or that or have fun. Super Smash Brothers is the definition of friendship breaking up. No, now wait a second. A lot of people like playing Super Smash Brothers, and if that is responsible for people breaking up their friendships, then they're playing the game for all the wrong reasons, in my opinion. Yes, chaos can be fun. You know, a lot of people can thrive on that sort of thing. Oh, you love forehead kisses. Well, ugh. There's a little bit of grease on the forehead. 1-2 Switch. We don't have a Nintendo Switch, and I don't think we're going to buy one anytime soon for reasons we cannot discuss on this live stream.
Well, one of the reasons is they're just really hard to find because of the pandemic.
That wasn't one of the reasons, but it's a very good point, you know. I mean, we talked about it before we bought the Wii U, and there were just certain games on the Wii U that we wanted to play, and that was as far as we were willing to go. One of the downsides of how just software in general is anymore is just how you have to just buy things and then subscribe to things, and it's which I don't know where I'm going with this logic, but if they can find ways to keep continually bilking you for money, they will, you know. Oh yeah, that PS5 announcement earlier today. I did not read specifically what the cost of the PS5 was going to be. Did they announce it? Please drop a comment here and let me know how much they're asking for it. I mean, rent varies depending on where you live. But I did see a funny post of someone with one of those tall air conditioners saying how the PS5 looks like that. I mean, I've not read any articles with any details. Hey Google, how much is the PS5 going to go for?
Here's a summary from TechRadar. Sony hasn't confirmed the PS5 price yet, but analyst predictions have placed the PS5 price in the region of $499 per £449 per 749 Australian dollars.
Oh,
it's going to be about $500.
$500.
That's a lot for a video.
And that's just an estimate. Oh. Now Saul says supposedly it's about $600 to $800.
That's ridiculous for a video game system.
Yes, it is. Who's going to buy that? You're going to have to take out a loan from a bank to get that, or put it on a credit card, which is also bad. You know. Amazon in another country put up a listing, converted to $750 US, and then took it down.
Ugh.
Good Lord. How much is enough when it comes to a game system? I mean, can we just not keep developing what we have? That now, you can rail on Windows 10 if you want, but I think they've really found where a lot of things should be, is that you get your copy of Windows with whatever system you buy, and then you get the updates on top of that, and you don't pay for those updates. You know, that's a good model, is that you should just make one good system at an affordable price and just keep improving that system, which that's an argument that has ups and downs. You know, I mean, a game system you can't compare to Windows. That's like an apples oranges comparison, really. You know, but there has to be better ways to do it than just try to put out a system that's $750 estimated. I mean, my generation is going to create gamer insurance since video games are getting expensive. Yeah. It sucks too, because the game development industry is rife with overworked, underpaid game devs that are being chewed up and spat out. Crunch culture is big in the games industry. What is crunch culture? Let's try this. Hey Google, what is crunch culture?
According to Cockney construction law, crunch culture endorses that employees feel the struggle as part of their creative process.
Oh, I see.
In other words, the belief system is that employees' passion to produce results should outweigh everything else, including stress, fatigue, and mental health.
And you know, I can be guilty of that at times in terms of this channel, is that I feel like that I need to put out a quality product rather than I should back down. Hey, you need to work 2 straight weeks to finish this game. And I worry that sort of crunch culture is consuming some friends of ours, you know? Like, I don't know what... I probably should not talk about my thought. I'm going to keep... There's a thought I should keep private in my mind about a friend of mine. You know, I don't want to say anything publicly, but... let's just say that I can certainly relate to that sort of thing. And while my kind of job does not have projects I have to do at home or anything like that, I just do a task at work and then that's it. I leave my work at work. But sometimes I check my email my couple of days off just to keep abreast of things that might be coming down the pipe, you know. But I don't have to worry about my job on the days I'm off. You know, so let's just say that I am fortunate in that regard. I know a lot of people have a lot more challenge, that sort of thing.
I mean, since I work in the news, the only way I can stay sane is to, on my 2 days off, to just try to ignore as much news as possible.
You know, I hate bringing things up with you, you know, but sometimes I do. And you tell me, in the presence of people watching on this live stream, should I not be doing that?
Well, if it's really important, but if it's not, then I'll just find out about it when I go back to work.
But have I ever brought anything up that you didn't want me to bring up?
I don't think so.
Okay. Systemic bullshit is right, you know. I mean, is a deadline... I mean, you have to have... Now I work in video games, but I do it so much for 2 days I never want to see a single video game ever. Well, that sometimes when you work with a couple days a week at work, I have to do what's called ingest, which is I'm just ingesting and checking shows that air on the stations that are in the hub I work in, and I come home and sometimes I don't feel like watching television because I've dealt with television all day. You know, I mean that's just one of those things of working in television, is that you don't want to work in television. Sometimes I wonder, what if I want to do something other than television? You know, what if I want to find a new line of work? I've not talked about a lot about my early college days when I was in community college. I actually had 2 different majors before I ended up in broadcasting. I tried electronics. I wasn't good at that. And I tried accounting, and I kind of got bored with that. And then I took a few years off of college before I ended up back at college and met Greg, and the rest is history. But I keep saying to my friends 2020 is the sequel to 2016 and we never asked for it. Well, 2020 is not over yet. I mean, there still is hope that things will get better, and there still is a possibility that things will get worse. I mean, it could go either way.
Hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Define the worst. Let's not think about that. Let's not even talk about that. Let's cut that discussion off right there. You know, because the point of this chat is to have a little bit of positive thinking in mind, you know. Positive thinking. Oh, journalism, okay. My first day in my first class, my professor said, "Oh, you're probably not getting a job in this field." Kind of sealed my fate on changing my major. Well, the interesting thing is that Greg was not a journalism major.
No, I was a broadcasting major.
We were in the same major. If you watch the video on how we met, you know this.
So I was learning how to shoot and edit video and how to direct and all that kind of thing. I got an internship at one of the local news stations, and I fell in love with that, and that parlayed into a career. So
that's a funny thing, is that you have a lot of journalism majors who, like that, did not get jobs, and yet you're the one that ended up being a producer and now doing what you do in digital content. You kind of sashayed into that.
Yeah, I never took a single journalism class, and yet here I am in the journalism business.
Well, you did take one class in college, which was that reporting class.
I didn't take that class.
You didn't take that class?
No.
No, you didn't take that class. I had to. Oh, okay. I remember what it was. I was a student worker in the broadcasting department, and I had to assist. What's his name? Who shall remain nameless. You know who I'm talking about. Assist with certain video needs. Let's put it that way. I was just a student worker who was stuck with it. But I was being paid for it, so there you go. You're kind of in limbo now. Well, you should be able to find a path on what you want to do. I ended up on my third major, and it was the best decision I made, because it was really, really my calling, because I do enjoy what I do. I don't get paid enough to do it, but I do enjoy what I do, you know. Obviously, I wish I was paid better. Anyone wishes they were paid better, you know. I mean, it's not like I'm being paid peanuts. No, not far from it, but some more income would be nice. But the funny thing is, it's funny you bring up in high school if you wanted to get into that, because there was kind of a broadcasting club in high school, and I applied to be in it and was rejected. And who's the one that ends up working in television? Me.
You weren't part of the right clique.
No. I don't know if it was necessarily a clique or not. You know. Everything
in high school involves cliques.
Clicks are bad. Clicks are awful. This has been documented. Okay, Michael, what is your dream job? Tell me, what is your dream job? I mean, I'll be the judge of that. Someone's making a video game that's sort of like working the control room at a TV station. Oh, don't show it to me because I will pick it apart. I will pick it apart because I am a picky person. I am picky. You know, I'm one of those weird people that, for example, whenever you watch a movie, a show, or whatever, and they're showing a baseball game in a ballpark, when they have the public address announcer calling play-by-play, that shit doesn't happen at a ball game. No. No. I realize it's a plot device, but not all baseball movies do it. You know,
you should only hear the play-by-play on radio and TV.
Yeah,
you don't hear it on.
You don't hear it on a public address. No.
All you hear is that. All you hear there is when they're saying who's at the plate.
Yeah, I've done some public address announcing in my time. You know, I know what a public address announcer really, really does. I know it's not meant to be taken seriously. Yeah. The skits that are purposely poorly acted and low budget. Well, that's how most things in a booth is. It's very poorly acted, you know. Well, professional Broadway actor with my disability has... Yeah, I know what you told me. Not many professional directors will cast me, and that's a stigma that needs to be overcome. I mean, there are so many stigmas in society. I can understand definitely, and it is wrong. It does need to go away. Who's popular on Instagram and social trends? Instagram frustrates me to no end. Facebook frustrates me to no end as well. You know.
Yeah, I mean, we were both in high school pre-social media, so
right on the cusp of dawn of social media, because you got invited to the Facebook in summer of 2005, right?
Yeah.
And then you invited me to it, and those accounts we still have to this day. But for the longest time, my bookmarks that I kept moving from computer to computer said the Facebook in the bookmark. And I still had thefacebook.com as the bookmark for the longest time. You know? And it's funny because you go back to some of my older status updates, and it's written in that style of they would show up of my name and is something.
I mean, that's the way you did it back then.
That's the way you did it back then. You know? And I wish it would have stayed that way too. But no. Zuckerberg had to go on his crazy way of doing things. MySpace, yeah. Our MySpaces are out there. You probably haven't logged into it.
I haven't logged into it in probably 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, I haven't touched mine in God knows how long. It's still there. Why is it still there? I don't know. Which they had that massive loss of information. Someone forgot to back up the server. Whoops. Oops. It's all Tom's fault. Tom at MySpace, it's all his fault. That was your first MySpace connection friend or whatever, you know. I was in your top 8, right?
I don't even know if I did top 8.
I did and put you in it. Definitely.
I mean, even when I had MySpace, even though when I was using MySpace, I wasn't really using it. So.
Well, I never used it religiously. I never went crazy with the profile, you know, like a lot of people did.
All the fancy HTML code and everything.
Oh, it's so ugly, you know.
Make it pink and red and with black letters in italics.
And every animated GIF or GIF, I don't know which way to pronounce it. I'm not inciting that debate. Do not start this debate. You could find any animation you could find, just shove it in there, you know. Or whatever music you wanted to, you know. Gray's got to go back to work.
Yeah, my break's over.
All right, so
I'm okay.
Go this way.
All right. See y'all later.
All right, but I'll hang out with you for a little bit longer. And if you have a question for Greg, I'll holler it to him. Look at me. I'm showing the good leg on camera. I don't know you, dude. Yeah, I was like, I had to look. I was like, who's this weird guy in the white shirt with a good... He had a cute beard, though, I think. If I remember correctly. Hey, Google, whatever happened to Tom from MySpace?
According to MTV, sadly, MySpace couldn't keep
Oh,
up.
shut up. He's 47 years old as of 2018? Jesus Christ, I didn't know he was that old. This is an article from MTV AU. He didn't have a beard. He had sideburns. He actually is on Instagram as MySpace Tom. Forgive me for not looking at you guys here, but oh well, of course he made millions of dollars getting the site bought out or whatever. So yeah, I sold it for $580 million and retired in 2009. Well, with $580 million, you could retire too. You know, I would. Oh, so-and-so removed so-and-so from her top 8. That was then what today is someone changing their relationship status or whatever. You know, it is, which I have debated in the last 2 weeks or so, and at least one person knows here that I really wanted to wad Facebook up and throw it away after what those comments that Zuckerberg made. Oh God, I've never thought very highly of Zuckerberg to start with. Definitely not after that. Ooh, even less so. I mean, I know the movie The Social Network, if you've ever seen that movie, great movie. It definitely paints a certain character of Zuckerberg in his dealings with the Winklevoss twins. Yeah, Yeah, I had a live journal. As a matter of fact, well, that live journal is deleted, but I downloaded and preserved all the entries in the current iteration of my blog, so all that is there. What comes next after Facebook and YouTube? I don't think YouTube is going anywhere. YouTube is a very, very firmly in place medium. Video is a thing that will always be there. I don't think YouTube's a passing fad. It's been around for quite a long time. Been around for well over a decade. Almost a decade and a half now. And obviously you're here watching us on YouTube. And I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. And we definitely enjoy posting our videos here. I'd hate to have to reconstruct that somewhere else. It's just no other site has been able to recapture the magic of YouTube. I mean, you have your Daily Motion and your Vimeo and whatever else is out there, and Quibi or whatever, and that you can't upload to Quibi. No, it's a fixed platform or something like that. Yeah, I know of someone else who deleted their Facebook. It's just that I have so many connections, and I don't post everything to Facebook. I never have. I never will. Remember when YouTube had the 10-minute limit? Definitely. I definitely do. I definitely do. Some people were somehow getting away with videos that were 10:59. I never tested that kind of limit. I had my old channel, and that was after they started allowing people to upload unlimited length videos, so I never had that issue. Or maybe it was I had YouNow. Oh, what was YouNow? It rings a bell. Live virtual videos on YouTube and Facebook become another streaming service. It's just that the market, even with 1 or 2 or 3, becomes very crowded. Very crowded, very quick. You have all other little things trying to nibble at the little bits that are left over, and they really don't go anywhere. You hear of something, you're like, that's a thing? Huh? Never heard of that before. Huh? Oh, I remember what that was. Yeah, I remember what YouNow was. Before YouTube Live was a thing when YouNow was around, and there were some other LGBT YouTubers like Husband and Husband and Zach and Evan. They were doing YouNows. I remember now. I was like, why are they using YouNow? Why don't they just do a YouTube Live? And you already have your audience there. I mean, geez. I mean, come on. Yeah. I was like, what an extra thing is that. It was like whenever we tried to do the Facebook Live and the YouTube Live a couple of streams ago. We're like, why are we doing this? I mean, this Facebook Live is just a thing there, and we have this channel here. We're going to focus on this channel and just keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. KISS principle. It's one of the mantras of my life, is the KISS principle. Keep it simple. Twitch is the big side of that, and there are others trying to grab the scraps. Not all of them survive. I mean, YouTube and its gaming platform, there's a good example. Facebook is trying a gaming platform over there, if I remember correctly. No. Twitch is established in this area. Stay with that. We had thoughts about starting a Twitch channel at some point, but then we ruled it out because we're like, we have a YouTube channel, we're sticking with that, and if we do anything, it's going to be here on our YouTube channel, so that's it. YouNow is still there. I don't have to look it up. I know it's still there. Which I'm impressed that I'm looking down in the statistics in OBS, which we use the OBS streaming software. It's free software. If you're familiar with how Twitch streamers do things, this is the majority of people. This is what they use. And on older computers, I would be dropping frames left and right, but I have 0 drop frames, and we've been doing this for an hour and 18 minutes since I started the very beginning of the stream. So that is just so impressive. Yeah, that's true. And the thing that's frustrating, it's been frustrating about YouTube, is that I don't want to say it's unattainable to get monetization these days, but it's not easy for a small channel to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours in a watch time in the last 12 months. I think that is ludicrous and ridiculous. Because I can remember when the partner program started, And yeah, I think they were a little fast and loose with it, and some limit need to be put in there, yes, but they totally went the other way. Thank you, Logan Paul, you idiotic jerk, for doing this. And you built a lot of people out of opportunity to really grow their channels and to get recognition. There are a lot of us YouTubers here, particularly myself, and I know Jason of Rich and Jason is just as frustrated with this as I am, that we want to be able to grow our channels more, I wouldn't say rapidly, but more consistently. And we've been at this for almost 3 years now, and we're proud that we've gotten up to almost 300 subscribers, you know. But you would like to get more. I mean, I would be happy at 400 and that's it, you know. I mean, but the number really doesn't matter to me, you know. We love just having anyone watch our videos, you know. We're glad that everyone that's here in the chat is here now. So, and we're glad that we've made such great connections with people, because you know. But that's not to say Twitch is bad. Twitch is a great platform. It's a fun place, and it has its own lingo and its own way of doing things, which I only just last week learned what a raid was, where you take your audience into somebody else's stream, you know, and family channels have really put a black mark on YouTube as well, though. So many parents are exploiting their kids. Yeah, that is true. That is true. A lot of people just do things that are very mind-boggling and very, very dumb. Very, very dumb. And it makes those of us who are trying to do things the right way and try to do things that are actually inspirational and sensible and try to have just a great positive platform, you know. It's very, very, very frustrating. Raids are fun. Yeah, I can see how they're fun. Which Herb has, and I doubt he's the only channel that does this. Whenever someone comes on a raid, there's like some sort of trigger or whatnot that puts a text overlay on the screen and plays a bit of music. It's just so ridiculously fun, you know. My presentation is very bland compared to what some of those Twitch streamers do, but I'm a bland person, so that's what I prefer. I'm not familiar with who Leafy is here is. I'm gonna have to look at that one myself. Let's see here. Leafy is here. Just a second here. Leafy is here. Oh, what, okay, looks like a very, very disgusting-ish kind of person. Just on the initial Google results. I do not know. I'm not getting a straight answer just from these little peaks here. I don't know, maybe one of you people can explain it to me better. If you're typing now, I thank you in advance. Oh, do let me know if you get something set up. I would love to check it out. I mean, experimenting is fun, but just find your own voice, you know. don't try to act like anyone else. Just find your own voice. Make it your own thing, you know, because that is probably the best way, and that's what I've had to keep telling myself, is just be yourself, you know. Don't try to impersonate anybody else or whatever. That's why our videos have our kind of flair to them, and I'm not trying to impersonate anything or anyone, you know. I'm just trying to make sure it's all us. It's all our style. It's all what we think, you know. And that's really what is the driving force in anything I do, is just my individuality. Oh, he was a cyberbully. Okay. That sums it up. Where to put things. I really can't add to that. I understand. See, you're weird enough, but you're unique. You're your own person, and that is the draw. You know, is that you are. I mean, I wouldn't use the word weird. I would use the word unique. You know, weirdness is a relative concept. I mean, if you think I'm weird, what do I think is weird? You know? I think it's weird that... no, I'm not going to complete that statement. There are a lot of things I think is weird. I mean, I could go on for days on this sort of thing. I don't do impersonations because my voice is shrill enough as it is. I mean, you don't want to hear me try and do karaoke. I have the worst singing voice. I won't say I have the worst singing voice. There are people that are far, far worse than I am. There are people who are far, far better than I am. Let's just put it this way. I would not get the golden buzzer on America's Got Talent. Let's just put it that way. I'm not a fan of that show or anything. It's one of those shows you're forced to watch at work because you're in the pod with the NBC station on a Tuesday night, which I am. So I really don't have to watch the show. I just have to keep an eye and make sure that the signal doesn't drop, you know. But karaoke's only fun whenever you've had a couple of drinks, you know. Then your inhibitions start to loosen and come out, you know. The funny thing is that right before the quarantine started, one of the last things we did was we went to the Atlanta Eagle on a Wednesday night and partook in karaoke. They had just brought it back. It had been a long-standing tradition prior to that, or like years prior, and they had done away with it and they brought it back, and that was pretty fun. And Greg has said that I will do it if I get a few drinks in me. So we'll find out about that. My karaoke go-to song, definitely. One of my favorites is "Watch My Age Again" by Blink-182. That's one of my favorites to sing. Of course, I sung for Greg. I sung "We Have All the Time in the World," which is our song, and one of our hopes is that in 2025, for our 10th wedding anniversary and our 20th anniversary as a couple, is that we will finally have a kind of reception that we didn't have back when we got married. And I want to slow dance with Greg to that song. I really do. And I'll probably cry like a... It's making me a little emotional now just thinking about it, you know. I just... That's the one thing that we never did do back then, that we eloped and got married in New York City, which I wouldn't trade that day for the world. I mean, the story's been documented in a previous video. I mean, I wouldn't trade that day for the world. That was a unique day. Almost being late to your own wedding is certainly one that not a lot of people could say, you know, at the behest of my lack of knowledge and usefulness to MTA in New York, getting on the local trains to the Express. So, and there could be a cause for celebration later this year. I don't want to divulge anything about that because it's still very much something that could not happen, And if it doesn't, we'll be okay. It's not a life or death scenario or anything. It's just one of those things. If it happens, you can celebrate in life. It does not involve children. I will dispel that right now. But it is a major milestone in life that could happen. Oh. Owen Wilson and Adam Sandler impersonation? Interesting. The Eagle can be a fun place. Unfortunately, the Eagle up your way is gone. I read about that. And we never got to visit that Eagle up there. I mean, we should have visited the time we were up there visiting with Josh Willis. You, Greg, want kids? Greg, do we want kids? No. Absolutely not. We don't work the hours to be able to care for a child, and we don't have the patience for a child. No. But as we have said before, we do want to have a dog someday, a small dog. That is another possible life event that could happen. The reason we don't have a dog now is because if we have a dog here, it makes the rent more expensive. And that's something we're not willing to deal with. So, logical deduction as to the possible life event that could happen this year. So, you could assume if you want. I'm not going to confirm or deny. Yeah, Michael, I hate that too. Is that a lot of queer spaces are going to disappear because of the pandemic, and it's not their fault. I just don't know what to say about it. I mean, this wouldn't be a problem if the damn leadership of this country was better, And I don't expect anything from the current leadership. I don't expect a damn thing. I don't expect to be further floored by the ineptitude of these people in charge. And I don't like saying that. Oh, Michael, I understand that definitely. And there was an article in the Atlanta Business Journal just this last week that with the owner of the Atlanta Eagle, and he said that at one point during the last couple of months, the Eagle only had $37 in its bank account. So it is teetering on the edge as well. And that is frustrating to me. That is frustrating. But yet, we don't feel 100% safe with going there, even with social distancing guidelines, because we can't afford to get sick, because then it would affect not only us, well, me and my coworkers. Greg is working here, obviously, but he can't afford to get sick, and I can't afford to get sick for the sake of me and the sake of my coworkers and my job. So it's just a catch-22 of a problem, Didn't they announce living in Atlanta is like $1 million in rent? Well, let's just say that some apartments in Midtown and surrounding neighborhoods are ridiculously like $2,500, $3,000 a month for something along the Beltline. It's crazy for a one bedroom, or for like a studio. I mean, gentrification is just a mind-boggling thing, and a lot of it has happened. Yeah, a lot. Some, local places closing is really, it's really sad, and you hate to see that. No, Michael. Don't feel bad about that. I mean, it. I mean, I don't think. No, fortunately, no queer spaces have disappeared yet here in Atlanta, and I feel that they will, and I hope that they don't, because we need our queer spaces. We really do. I mean, some of them have went away prior to this that really shouldn't have, in my opinion. I come upon a great website earlier today that is talking about historical queer spaces, past and present. And I had no idea, and it was logical before, that the Atlanta Eagle is built around a vintage house that was built back in the early 20th century. And I was like, oh, so that's why that staircase is in there, and it has such a weird ways. You have to be in there to understand what I'm talking about. But I'm like, oh, okay, so that's why that's that way, and such, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they always said back in Knoxville, there's always a movement called Keep Knoxville Scruffy, and that people love the old nature of things like downtown and on Gay Street and the old city and whatever, and people didn't want to see things torn down and whatever. And you kind of feel that way in Atlanta too, in a way, is that there are lots of vintage things that you don't want to go away, be torn down, but yet you'd like to see new things happen as well. I mean, you don't want to see things change, but you don't want to see certain things stay the same. You want to see progress, but then again, you don't want to see unique things fall by the wayside. You find yourself torn in that sort of area when it comes to historical things. I mean, I will just say this for the record. This will be an unsurprising opinion, but yeah, Confederate statues belong in a museum, not on public display. Or you can just throw them in the ocean. I mean, well, scruffy can be interpreted that way, but I think you know what way they're meaning in terms of scruffy, is that you want it to have character, just in a character sense. Yeah, I know, and it's a perfectly valid argument that Confederate statues belong in a dumpster, because those kinds of people, they were segregationists, they were racist. Let's not mince words. They were racist, because slavery is racism, bar none. Slavery is a racist thing in terms of how Southern people felt back then. Okay, so I'm getting very, very quiet, and I'm really hyped up on the thing about the migraine formula that I took is just the straight store-bought migraine formula. It's a combination of acetaminophen and caffeine, and I had to take 2 earlier today, and I took another 2 like a half hour before the live stream, and it's kicked in, and I'm really freaking wired right now. It's just like kind of wired, It makes you a little jittery. The NASCAR thing, yeah. One side of me is surprised. The other side of me is kind of like, okay. But I keep seeing people posting the reaction to the guy's tweet that said, "I'm quitting. I'm never going to imagine this." And is that real that NASCAR had to look, NASCAR social media had to look up who he was? I mean, that's an epic troll response, you know. This is the perfect time to play Jenga. You could play Jenga with yourself, and we do have Jenga. I should think not. No. I look like I'm studying a Jenga puzzle myself. Oh, I see where you're getting at. Is that I'm so wired that I should play Jenga. I probably would lose in one move. Yeah, you're taking out that brick, that tile or whatever that you think is safe, and oh no, there it goes. Oh, Jenga, there it is. It's like Stewie and Family Guy. Oh, Jenga, there it is. All right. So I think I'm going to close up shop here because we've been going for a while here, and I've got to take a break before Drag Race starts at 8 o'clock. I know that's not everyone's thing. I know, Michael, you hate Drag Race. That's fine, you know. But thank you all, everyone, for coming by. The record collection. That's something I could possibly do in the future. You never know. Okay, thank you all for joining us. It's been a great time. We'll do this again in the future, and we'll get some videos up for the channel. I promise. I need to get back on doing things on a regular basis and not let COVID really disrupt my life thinking. You know. All right. Good night, everyone. Be good to each other. Stay safe. All right. Bye, everyone. Good night. Take care.